It is mid-August here at Fruition Seeds, and you can see the end of July, beginning of August. We sowed these lovely beets and they are beautifully coming up. It's a little late if we were going to plant beets for our final fall succession, but here are the things that we can plant right now gloriously, and I hope that you do. We can still plant arugula. In fact, you can plant arugula through end of September and you can still be eating it as baby leaf. That is also true for our wintergreen mesclun mix. Any of our mesclun mixes you can plant right now, but this wintergreen is especially good. We've been selecting it to regrow quickly in cold temperatures, so it's perfect for fall planting. Endive. I love endive and chicories, and these are perfect to sow in mid-August. Also, rapini, broccoli rabe. Broccoli, it's a tiny bit on the late side. You really wanted to have gotten it in the ground early August, but go for it if you like, but know that your rapini will be that much more delicious and abundant sown mid-August. Also, these lovely little pak choys. They are so dainty and tender, and those you can also plant well into September and expect a crop 3-4 weeks later. Winter density romaine lettuce. Winter density perhaps gives away its key qualities. It's in fact a great summer lettuce as well, but I love planting it in the fall. It has incredible tolerance of cold, as does romaines have a shocking tolerance of cold, include especially the red speckled one, our flashy trout back. I love, and I often eat for Thanksgiving. Radishes also are perfect to plant now, and you can plant these all throughout September and expect a crop 3 weeks later. And yes, in that same vein, these lovely sweet tender little roots, Tokyo Market, little white turnips. And spinach. It is finally time to plant spinach again. Spinach is a wild thing. It only loves to grow and certainly only germinates in the cold temperatures and cold soils. So spinach is only a spring crop and a fall crop. Mid-August can even sometimes be a little early for spinach. Go ahead, give it a try. I do all the time, certainly by mid-September. Don't hesitate. The spinach will jump right out of the ground. There's also Asian spinach, which if you haven't grown it before, give it a try. It is often I prefer it to classic spinach, and certainly in the middle of the summer it grows without a hitch where classic spinach would either not germinate or bolt instantly. So Asian spinach also grows well in the cold. It actually overwinters uncovered in our fields like most of our spinach as well. And kale is also great to plant right now. We have tons of varieties. Any of them will do marvelously. They'll actually get more tender and sweet as the fall goes on. This particular variety, Bare Necessities, is more like a feather of kale than a leaf of kale. It has all of these tiny little leaflets on leaflets on leaflets on leaflets, and it's this marvelously tender, sweet kale. Chard is also the perfect thing to plant in the fall. And of course, kale and chard you can plant first thing in the spring and be eating it all through the season up to the new year. But if you don't already have enough or just don't have it at all, don't hesitate. Mid-August is the perfect time to sow them. It's also a great time to sow if you already, for example, have planted your basil and you've had it flower, you made lots of pesto, but you're not done with the season. You still have tons of tomatoes. You still have another 2.5 months of brilliant basil eating weather, but your basil plants that you originally planted, they've flowered and they're not as sweet as they once were. Mid-August is not too late to tuck in that final succession of basil. With that first frost, it will die, but you've got plenty of time. Don't even think about it yet. That is also true for dill. Dill is something that we replant many times throughout the season, so it so quickly goes to seed. And cilantro, it is the perfect time to be starting to sow cilantro for the fall. And a fun fact about cilantro, it loves to grow in the cold, which is so ironic because I grew up always thinking cilantro, summertime, salsa, cilantro, summertime, salsa. It loves to grow in the fall and in the spring so much more than it loves to grow in the summer. You'll find that you'll get 3 to 4 cuttings off your fall grown cilantro compared to your summer sown. And that is another one that overwinters for us easily in our field, even uncovered. Something like chervil is also so unique, as well as corn salad or mache. They only germinate, just like spinach, in the cooler temperatures, and they also overwinter uncovered brilliantly in the field. And they're some of the first things that regrow as soon as the snows melt. And yeah, these are two things that I would not have a garden without. I also love garden cress, and it loves to grow in the cold as well. Think watercress that actually grows on the land without needing to be submerged in water, that tastes like watercress, and I love tucking it on sushi and in salads. And finally, Claytonia is another one that only germinates in the cold, and it's a native. It has this bright mineral spinach flavor, super succulent, and it also will overwinter uncovered in your field. So friends, I can't tell you how many options you have. Yes, you've been gardening for months, and yes, it's mid-August. It's far from over, and if you have any space in your garden, a lot of these greens and herbs are perfect to tuck in little corners here and there, and you'll be so thrilled a month from now, 2 months from now, to be surrounded by their abundance if you take the time to tuck a few seeds in the ground today.